Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 2. This is the morning message, and this group is Before the Fork, the 28-day experience. And I hope everyone has taken some time to read through the book a little bit, get familiar with the happiness ladder, which of course is our first pillar and the pillar that we're going to touch on this morning. We have handouts, so you guys have 2 places to access handouts. And I just recognized this morning that the beforethefork.com, there's a little link there. So if you go to beforethefork.com and you see the link at the bottom, it takes a few seconds to load on my computer. So just be patient. There's going to be a red bar at the bottom. Click on that red bar, and there's some downloads there that I just realized this morning are not in the Dropbox. I'm going to be moving those over to the Dropbox as well, so you have everything in one location. That may not happen for a day or so. My wonderful graphic designer is really slammed at work, so it may take a day or 2 before she can get those moved over, but that's okay because you have them at beforethefork.com. Just wait for that little red bar. So I'm going to try to do something. Uh-oh, where did it go? Oh, maybe I can't. I was going to try to do a screen share. You know, it gave me that option earlier. Let's see. Maybe if I click on this, y'all, somebody tell me if you can see if I pull this up. Can y'all see my screen? Can anyone? Well, see, I can't see you now, so I don't know if you see my screen or not. Okay, that's okay. No worries. All is well. We're just going to power through this without the use of that split screen, and that's going to be just fine. Okay, so this morning, hi, Deborah. This morning, what I want to talk to you about, really, I want to cover 2 things. So in the back of the book here, I'm on day 2, phase 1, and the little write-up for today is basically talking about leaving the town of familiar and what happens when you're entering into a journey that you know nothing about. So you don't know what to anticipate. You don't know what to expect. There's a level of excitement, but at the same time, you're leaving familiar. And anytime that we leave familiar, we have a tendency to want to run home every time things get tough. So the story that I want to tell you today about entering into the land of unfamiliar, leaving the town of familiar, who you're going to take along with you, and you're going to bring along an old friend to travel with you on this journey. And it's a friend that you need to get to know intimately. And the name of that friend is uncomfortable. So as soon as you recognize that being uncomfortable is not about being scared, it's not about feeling alone, it's not about wanting to run back to safety. Uncomfortable is the birthplace of your expansion. So the second you start to feel uncomfortable, know that you're getting ready to have a breakthrough. Hi, Dina. So being uncomfortable is really should be embraced. And when you feel that discomfort and you feel out of sorts and you don't know what to do, take a deep breath, breathe 3 times, settle yourself down, and then start looking for the nugget in that discomfort. Start looking for the little silver lining. If you waller in the emotion of discomfort and you let that be the focus, that I'm uncomfortable, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go, I don't, and you're feeling that little bit of panic, rest into that. Take a deep breath and say, you know what? Uncomfortable is my friend. Discomfort is my friend. This is the birthplace of my expansion. And I love this little story that I kind of put together to help you understand how important it is to build your own foundation. So imagine yourself on a trip in a foreign country, and in that foreign country, they don't speak your language. So let's say for me, I did very, very poorly in French in school. So let's say it's me and I go to France. And when I go to France, I have an interpreter, and she's with me every day. And we're navigating the town, and I tell her what I need, and she finds what I need. She does a little translation, and so she can bring me to the bathroom, to the restaurant. She can order off the menu for me. And I feel, because I'm in this environment that is foreign, but I have this translator that is my foundation, and I'm leaning into her for every one of my needs. I'm not really taking a lot of time to acknowledge what she's doing or trying to learn what she's doing, because she's doing everything for me. She is my translator. She is navigating the world that I don't know. So I'm preventing myself from feeling discomfort. I'm preventing myself from being uncomfortable. I am in a foreign environment, but everything that I need, I'm just leaning into this translator that is navigating this unfamiliar world for me. So one morning I wake up and she is sick and she can't get out of bed. And I have to launch into this environment, and I have no foundation. I have nothing to lean upon. I haven't paid attention to the words that she's used. I haven't tried to learn the language. And so I'm in this big city of France or Paris, and I'm lost. I can't even ask for the bathroom. I don't know how to order off of a menu. I don't know how to hail a cab or a taxi and tell them where I want to go. So my first inclination is to turn and run back to the States where I'm familiar and I'm safe. Now, if I were wise when I had this translator with me, I would have been watching and taking notes on everything that she was doing to help me navigate that town. I wouldn't have leaned into her. I would have used her knowledge to help build my own foundation. So maybe day one, I'm observing her. Day two, I'm saying, no, wait, what did you say? Let me write that down. And day three, I'm like, no, you just watch and make sure I'm doing it right, and let me ask for the restroom or ask for order at the restaurant. So you're slowly weaning yourself off of the translator and taking on that personal responsibility for yourself. That is the only way that the land of familiar or the land of unfamiliar is going to start feeling familiar. You have to assume the responsibility to learn the language of unfamiliar. So I like that story because it does a couple of things. There's been a lot of times over the years that people have wanted me to completely write them a menu, tell them what to eat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, what brands to buy, all of this type of thing that I can totally do for you. But once I'm not there, you don't have the foundation to do it for yourself. So these are the programs like your Jenny Craig's, your Weight Watchers. Well, not really Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers is actually a very superior program because you have to navigate the purchasing on your own. But any of the home delivery services, any of the diets that just spoon feed you every step of the way, and they never allow you, or there's never the opportunity for you to jump in and assume responsibility for creating the menu, for doing your bulk cooking, for understanding why this product is better than this product. At the end of that program, hi Jerry, glad to have you. At the end of that program, you're left without the knowledge. So today I wanted to touch on that. It's 9 minutes. I am not going over 15 minutes today. I promise you, these videos are going to be getting shorter. My goal is to keep them under 12 minutes. That's my goal. So if I go 15 minutes today, I'll just have to be okay with that. So that's the first thing. Understand that it is your responsibility to learn the language of the 80-20 lifestyle. Learn the language of before the fork, the 6 pillars, the 4 phases. If you don't learn the language, then I have taught you nothing. And it's really my goal that you feel every phase that you're moving through. You know what to anticipate. It's my goal that when you start to get a wobble in moving forward, you can look at your pillars and you can say, wow, my support pillar is really weak. I am not asking for support from my folks, or the support I'm getting is not in alignment with what Robin told us a healthy support system needs to look like. Or you can say, wow, my expectations were really out of alignment. I didn't line up my somoma type or my body type with what my predisposed goal is. So I'm out of alignment there, and I'm feeling a lot of frustration because my alignment isn't there. So as soon as you take this, the literature, everything that's in this, as soon as you recognize that this is the Bible of transformation, this was delivered to me through the Holy Spirit, and I promise you, every word in here will affect change in your life on a completely different level, but it's up to you to learn the language. Know your pillars, know the 4 phases, do the work, do the journaling. So that's about the town of familiar, entering the town of unfamiliar, leaving familiar, and not running home. The second thing that I want to talk about today is the happiness ladder. So spend a lot of time in that chapter. I really invite your questions about the happiness ladder. Tonight, I'm going to get into more of the metabolic reasons why the happiness ladder is so important to your transformation process. Why, if you live in those red and yellow zone emotions, why that is not only sabotaging from a joyful perspective, but it's sabotaging from a metabolic perspective. And I want to go into a few more of the details about that, how your body uses those emotional signals as the conduit in your body for healthful replenishment, healthful regeneration. And that when those communications are being made and you have the hormones surging through your body that are created in the red and yellow zone, how that breaks down your metabolic communication throughout your entire body. Low vibration emotions are the gateway to disease. So we have to recognize that if we spend a lot of our day, or the majority of our day, bathing our mind in frustration, in irritation, in hopelessness, in all of those low vibration emotions, that not only do we feel bad spiritually, but our body is inhibited to heal itself. So when we learn to climb up that happiness ladder, one emotion at a time, you can't jump from the bottom step to the top step. That is too big of an emotional climb. Have you ever had something happen that left you incredibly despondent, depressed, sad, overwhelmed with just feelings of hopelessness? Okay, those emotions that leave you, I don't want to use the word suicidal. That's not a very pleasant word, but leave you feeling as if there is nothing left. Those emotions rest at the bottom of the happiness ladder. They are the darkest, deepest, most tactile, heaviest, most human emotion possible. When you're in that depth of despair, all of your body's operating systems are inhibited. They're shut down. They're not communicating with each other healthfully. So have you ever felt yourself go from that despondent emotion, and all of a sudden you've moved into rage or anger? And that feels better than despondent, because with anger, you're getting a degree of your power back. When you're despondent, you have no power. You are limp. You're lifeless. You feel like a truck could roll over you and it would be fine. But when you get angry, all of a sudden you're starting to gather some energy, and you're starting to say, okay, now I'm angry, and anger feels better than laying on the ground and just wallowing in pity and that despondent feeling. So a lot of times when you move into anger, the people around you want you to go back to despondent, because you weren't a lot of work in despondent. You were just a limp dish rag. So anger is a little fearful for them because they're like, geez, she's so angry. Well, anger, you're reclaiming your power. And then you move from anger into some productive, hopefully, and if not, then I'm going to help you get there. From anger, you move into some decision-making capacities where you start doing some problem solving. And then maybe you go from anger to maybe some solution focus, or even revenge feels better than just wallowing in anger. At least your mind is starting to turn. And then you go from anger to revenge, then maybe to resignation. And you're learning to live with whatever event happened. And so you see, you're slowly climbing up the happiness ladder. And then before you know it, you're up here at, wow, that event was a true blessing. Because through that contrast, through that level of despair, and through that anger, and through that momentary revenge seeking, and then through the problem solving, I gave birth to this brilliant new idea that has gotten me where I am. So you see, everything that we do on the happiness ladder is necessary. What we don't want to do is linger too long in any one of those low vibration, red or yellow zone emotions. We want to learn to move through them. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit more about moving through them, how it serves you, how it ministers to you in the evolution of your desired self story that hopefully you've created up to this point, and how necessary every one of those steps are. They're a blessing to you. So allow them to bless you wholly and fully. Anytime you block one of those emotions, you're doing, you've heard the phrase, you forgive for the other person. You don't forget, or you forgive for yourself. You don't forgive for the other person. This is a beautiful example of that. We're going to go into more detail with that tonight. So today, I want you to study on the happiness ladder, read through the happiness ladder, bring your questions back to me tonight about the happiness ladder. If you haven't already taken the quiz in the front of the book that will help you determine what your predisposed range is, your thought range. Are you kind of a red zone? Are you a yellow zone? Are you total reactive? Or are you just a hyper happy green zone thinker? So let's look at that tonight. Learn a little bit more about the 80-20 lifestyle. Go look at the handouts. Visit beforethefork.com. Wait for the little red bar at the bottom of the page to come up. Click on that. Go through those downloads as well. Put those in your file. Build your book. I'm going to have my book with me tonight, so I'll show you what I built. We are going to be going to the grocery store later today, but I'm going to be making that video and then posting it up so that tomorrow you can have your home cleaned out, your pantries cleaned out, your refrigerator cleaned out, your grocery shopping done, so that on day 4 we can launch into the 80-20 lifestyle. Start thinking about, do you have your days picked out that you're going to have your 2 cheat meals? Are you going to do the rapid results? Are you going to do the slow and steady? Are you going to do just the daily maintenance for healthful living? So all of those are questions you need to be asking yourself. Of course, I went over. It's 18 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get off now. I love you all. Have a super blessed day. And don't be afraid of the land of unfamiliar. Be ready to leave the town of familiar. And just remember that you are taking discomfort and the old friend uncomfortable along with you on their journey. Welcome them as part of this entire experience. Okay, y'all have a super fantastic day, and I will talk to you later tonight.